The massive viewscreen flickered to life aboard Earth's orbital command station. Admiral Mike Stone watched as an alien vessel materialized from hyperspace, its sleek hull gleaming with unknown metals. After decades of searching the stars for other life, humanity had finally received an answer to their cosmic loneliness. The transmission came through in perfect English, though the voice carried an odd mechanical tone. Primitive inhabitants of the third planet, you are hereby invited to join the Galactic Council. Prepare your best representatives for evaluation. Stone felt his heart race. This was humanity's moment. He assembled Earth's finest. Pilot Anna. Cross, whose reflexes were legendary among the Space Corps. Engineer Tom Blake, who could fix anything with spare parts and determination. And scientist Lisa Park, whose theories on faster-than-light travel had brought humanity to the stars. Their ship, the Unity, represented the pinnacle of human achievement. Its fusion engines hummed with barely contained power as they approached. Nexus Station, a colossal structure that dwarfed Earth's moon. Hundreds of alien vessels docked at its countless ports, each design more exotic than the last. The human delegation docked at a maintenance bay, typically reserved for cargo haulers. Stone noticed the insult, but said nothing. They were guests. Here, and first impressions mattered. The station's interior took their breath away. Cathedral-like chambers stretched for kilometers, filled with beings from across the galaxy. Towering crystalline entities conversed with floating gas clouds, while insectoid creatures scuttled between market stalls that sold technologies beyond human comprehension. Their escort, a spider-like Veltar named Rixtal, spoke without moving what humans assumed was its mouth. Follow the designated path. Do not touch anything. Your primitive contamination could damage delicate equipment. The words stung, but Stone maintained his diplomatic composure. They were led through increasingly impressive displays of galactic civilization. Entire planets rendered in perfect holographic detail. Weapons that could crack moons. Ships that folded space like origami. Finally, they reached the council chamber. Thousands of alien species filled tiered seats that rose toward a crystalline dome. At the chamber's center sat the Council of Five, representatives of the galaxies. Most powerful civilizations. Vex Hun, the council leader, resembled a massive crocodile that had learned to walk upright. His scales shimmered with embedded technology, and his eyes held the cold intelligence of an apex predator. When he spoke, his voice boomed through hidden speakers. Humans of Sol 3, you stand before civilizations that have conquered stars while your species was still discovering fire. Present your achievements for judgment. Stone stepped forward, his prepared speech ready. He spoke of human determination, of their rapid technological progress, of their desire for peace and knowledge. He showed recordings of human art, music, and scientific discoveries. The chamber erupted in what could only be described as laughter. Different species expressed amusement in their own ways, chittering, humming, flashing lights, but the message was universal. They found humanity ridiculous. A Cathari warrior, standing 3 meters tall with 4 arms ending in razor claws, spoke next. These soft creatures claim strength. Watch! He activated a wrist device. On the main screen, a small Cathari patrol ship approached an asteroid the size of Manhattan. A single pulse from its weapon reduced the space rock to glowing fragments. Your most powerful weapons would require hours to achieve what our children's toys accomplish in seconds. Vexon declared, your ships are primitive metal shells. Your bodies are weak and short-lived. Your technology is laughably crude. The Mordon representative, a whale-like creature floating in a liquid-filled sphere, added its insult. Their neural activity barely registers above animal levels. Perhaps they would serve as adequate manual laborers. Stone felt his crew's anger radiating like heat. Anna's hands clenched into fists. Tom muttered something about showing them what human engineering could do. Lisa stared at the aliens with undisguised contempt. Vexon rendered his judgment. By the authority of the Galactic Council, humanity is classified as Species Class 7. Primitive. You may trade raw materials for basic necessities. Advanced technology, military service, and full citizenship are forbidden until you prove evolutionary advancement. The dismissal was absolute. The humans were escorted back to their ship like embarrassed children. As the Unity undocked from Nexus Station, Stone watched the massive structure shrink in their view screen. The journey home passed in tense silence. When they finally reached Earth, Stone faced the hardest briefing of his career. World leaders listened in growing fury as he described humanity's humiliation. President David Chun summed up the global sentiment. They want to treat us like children? Then perhaps it's time they learned what human children are capable of. When they grow up angry. The galaxy had made its first mistake. They had underestimated humanity's greatest strength, their refusal to accept defeat. Asterisk. 6 months after the humiliation at Nexus Station, Earth had settled into its role as the galaxy's newest servant. Human mining colonies stripped asteroids. Bare, sending precious metals to alien traders who paid in scraps. The once proud space fleet now escorted cargo ships like cosmic truckers. Dr. Rick West sat in his cramped office at Earth Military Command, surrounded by holographic displays, showing alien fleet movements. As humanity's leading military historian, he had been tasked with studying their new overlords. What he was discovering made his blood run cold. The Kethari battle fleet that patrolled human space followed the same patrol routes every day. Air formations never changed. When human freighters were late to rendezvous points, the aliens responded with identical procedures every single time. It was as if they were following an ancient instruction manual. West pulled up recordings from the Nexus Station encounter. He watched the Kethari weapon demonstration again, but this time he wasn't impressed by the destruction. He was studying the technique. The alien ship had approached the asteroid in a perfectly straight line, fired from optimal range, then retreated along the exact same path. Computer, analyze Kethari tactical patterns from all available data, he commanded. The results were staggering. Every alien military action followed predictable patterns. They had overwhelming firepower, but zero creativity in using it. It was like watching chess players who only knew 3 opening moves. Meanwhile, Commander Jake Hill was conducting humanity's most dangerous mission. His stealth ship Shadow used primitive chemical rockets that alien sensors dismissed as space debris. For weeks, he had been observing alien military exercises in the outer system. The footage he brought back shocked everyone who saw it. Alien soldiers moved in perfect formation, but showed no individual initiative. Their commanders issued orders by rote, never adapting to changing situations. When a training scenario went slightly wrong, the entire exercise ground to a halt while officers consulted their protocols. They're not warriors, Hill reported to the Emergency Council. They're bureaucrats with fancy weapons. The breakthrough came when engineer Sam Reed finished analyzing salvaged alien technology. The materials were incredible. Metals that could withstand stellar temperatures, energy sources that defied human physics. But the designs were shockingly inefficient. Look at this power coupling, Reed explained to Tom Blake. It works perfectly, but it's using 10 times more energy than necessary. And this targeting system, it's accurate, but it takes 3 seconds to lock onto a moving target. Any human pilot could evade it easily. Blake studied the schematics with growing excitement. It's like they built everything through trial and error, and never bothered to improve it. Raw power instead of elegant engineering. The most disturbing discovery came from scientist Liza Park. She had been studying galactic history using data freely available on the alien networks. What she found explained everything. The current ruling species didn't evolve to dominance, she announced at the secret briefing. They conquered it through genocide. Every time a new species showed technological innovation, the established powers destroyed them completely. The historical records were clear. The Viltar had wiped out 17 species that developed faster-than-light communication. The Kethari had exterminated entire civilizations that created new weapon designs. The Mordan had drowned worlds that dared to develop better trade networks. The galaxy isn't stagnant by accident, Park continued. It's stagnant by design. Innovation is literally punished by extinction. President Shun leaned forward in his chair. So why are we still alive? Because they don't see us as a threat yet, West answered. We're classified as primitive. They think we're too stupid to be dangerous. But if we start showing real innovation, the implications hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Humanity faced a terrible choice: remain forever subservient or risk total annihilation by revealing their true potential. Admiral Stone, promoted after his diplomatic mission, spoke first. We can't live as slaves. That's not who we are. But we can't fight them directly, Hill added. Their ships outnumber ours 1,000 to 1. Chun stood and walked to the window overlooking Earth's sprawling cities. Billions of humans went about their daily lives, unaware that their species stood at a crossroads. The president made his decision. Gentlemen, ladies, we're going to do what humans do best. We're going to change the rules of the game. He turned back to face the room. Authorize Project Silent Storm. We'll give them exactly what they expect: a primitive, submissive species. Right up until the moment we show them what human innovation really means. The secret war had begun. Humanity would play the role of obedient servants while preparing for the fight of their species' life. The aliens had made one crucial error. In their calculations, they had assumed that humans, like every other species they had encountered, would accept their fate. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Asterisk. 2 years had passed since Project Silent Storm began. To the galaxy, humanity appeared to be settling into their assigned role perfectly. Human cargo ships delivered their quotas on time. Human representatives bowed respectfully at trade meetings. Human colonies expanded only where permitted. Aliens saw exactly what they expected to see. They had no idea that every human freighter carried hidden compartments filled with advanced components. Every mining operation was secretly testing new technologies. Every diplomatic mission was gathering intelligence. Admiral Kate Moore stood in the command center of Titan Base, humanity's most classified facility. Hidden beneath the ice of Saturn's largest moon, the base had been carved out by mining equipment. That officially didn't exist. Here, humanity was building its future. Status report, she ordered. Captain Blake, now heading the engineering division, stepped forward. The new fleet is ready for field testing. 60 ships completed, with 40 more in final assembly. Moore nodded as holographic displays showed the revolutionary vessels. From the outside, they looked like typical human cargo haulers, boxy, utilitarian, unremarkable. The aliens had seen thousands just like them and dismissed them as primitive. Junk. The truth was far different. Each ship's hull contained alien metals acquired through legitimate trade, but arranged in patterns no alien had ever considered. The engines used human fusion technology, enhanced with alien power cores. The weapons were disguised as industrial equipment, but could punch through any known armor. Most importantly, every ship was designed around human psychology. Where alien vessels followed rigid operational protocols, human ships adapted. Their targeting systems learned from each engagement. Their defensive patterns changed randomly. Their tactical computers didn't follow rules. They broke them. What about the crews? Moore asked. Commander Hill, now leading the combat training program, activated another display. We've got 10,000 volunteers ready for deployment. All officially listed as cargo pilots and mining technicians. The training footage showed what looked like routine space operations. Humans loading cargo, conducting maintenance, running standard patrols. But every movement was precise. Every action had military purpose. These weren't civilian workers. They were the most deadly space force humanity had ever created. Dr. West had developed the training doctrine they called the human way. It rejected everything the aliens considered normal warfare. Where aliens used overwhelming force, humans used precision strikes. Where aliens followed predictable patterns, humans embraced chaos. Where aliens relied on superior technology, humans relied on superior thinking. The Psychological Warfare Division is ready as well, West reported. We've studied every major alien species. We know their fears, their blind spots, their cultural taboos. When the time comes, we won't just defeat them militarily. We'll break their will to fight. The preparation went far beyond military readiness. Scientist Lisa Park had established research stations throughout the solar system, each one officially conducting mineral surveys, while actually pushing the boundaries of physics itself. The breakthrough came last month, Park announced. We've weaponized human creativity. Our new combat computers don't just calculate optimal solutions, they imagine impossible ones. They can develop entirely new tactics during battle. The system was revolutionary. While alien computers followed programmed responses, human battle systems learned and adapted in real time. They could recognize patterns the enemy didn't even know they were following, then exploit weaknesses that didn't technically exist until humans created them. Engineer Sam Reed had made equally important discoveries. We've reverse-engineered everything the aliens consider impossible to reverse-engineer, he reported with satisfaction. Their unbreakable encryption, their impenetrable shields, their undetectable sensor networks. We've cracked them all. The key had been approaching alien technology from directions the aliens never considered. They built systems to defend against known threats. Humans specialized in becoming unknown threats. Meanwhile, the aliens continued their routine domination of human space. Vexon regularly demanded tribute increases, always testing how far he could push humanity before they broke. He had no idea that every demand was carefully analyzed, every alien visitor thoroughly studied, every interaction recorded and dissected. The breaking point came without warning. A Cathari battle group, conducting what they called training exercises, accidentally destroyed Mining Station 7. 3,000 humans died instantly when the aliens tested their new plasma cannons on what they thought was an abandoned facility. The alien commander's message was broadcast across human space. Regrettable accident during routine weapons testing. Compensation will be provided according to standard protocols for primitive species property damage. President Chun received the message in his secure bunker beneath Geneva. Around him, humanity's leadership watched in silence as their people were reduced to property damage in an alien report. How long until the fleet is ready? Chun asked quietly. Admiral Moore checked her displays. 6 hours, sir. Chun looked around the room one final time. Every face showed the same expression, cold determination mixed with righteous fury. Then it's time to introduce the galaxy to humanity's true nature, he said. Send the activation codes. The secret war was about to become very public. Asterisk. The Cathari punishment fleet emerged from hyperspace with arrogant confidence. 50 warships arranged in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with the authority of galactic dominance. Fleet Commander Zektar had crushed rebellions on a dozen worlds. Dealing with primitive humans would be trivial. Open communications? He ordered. Let's give these insects one chance to surrender. The transmission reached Earth's orbital stations, where terrified human officials begged for mercy. They offered increased tribute, additional mining rights, even human slaves if necessary. It was exactly what Zektar expected from an inferior species. What he didn't expect was Admiral Stone's response. Cathari Fleet. This is Admiral Stone of the Terran Defense Force. You have 30 seconds to leave our system or face the consequences. Alien Bridge erupted in chittering laughter. Zektar's mandibles clicked with amusement. Terran Defense Force? Your pathetic cargo ships against our battle fleet? You humans truly are insane. 25 seconds, Stone replied calmly. Zektar didn't bother responding. He activated his weapon systems and prepared to demonstrate galactic superiority. That's when the impossible happened. Space itself seemed to shimmer around the Cathari fleet. What had appeared to be empty void revealed dozens of human ships, their stealth systems deactivating in perfect synchronization. The aliens found themselves surrounded by vessels that shouldn't exist. Impossible, Zektar whispered. Our sensors detected nothing. His weapons officer was already scanning the human ships. Commander, these readings don't match our intelligence. These aren't cargo haulers. The human vessels looked familiar, the same boxy design the aliens had dismissed for years. But something was different. They moved with predatory grace, their formations flowing like liquid mercury. No alien fleet had ever maneuvered with such fluid precision. Admiral, Stone's voice filled the alien ships. You wanted to see human technology. Consider this a demonstration. The battle began with inhuman speed. Cathari plasma cannons, weapons that could shatter mountains, fired at where human ships had been. But the humans were no longer there. They moved in impossible patterns, changing direction without losing momentum, attacking from angles that defied physics. Commander Hill, leading the Phoenix Squadron, demonstrated the new human doctrine. His ships didn't engage in traditional combat. They rewrote the rules. When Cathari shields adapted to human weapons, the humans simply changed frequency. When alien point defense systems locked onto human missiles, the humans fired smart projectiles that learned new attack patterns mid-flight. Their weapons are adapting to our defenses. The Cathari tactical officer screamed. Zektar watched in horror as his supposedly invincible fleet was torn apart by enemies they had underestimated. Human weapons ignored alien shields by targeting frequencies the aliens had never thought to protect. Human ships appeared and disappeared using technology. That shouldn't work according to galactic physics. The worst part was the human tactics. Where aliens followed predictable combat protocols, humans seemed to make up new strategies every few seconds. Just when the Cathari thought they understood human behavior, the humans did something completely different. Captain Cross, now commanding the strike cruiser Vengeance, led her squadron through the alien formation like a surgical knife. Her ships targeted specific systems with frightening precision, not to destroy, but to disable and humiliate. This is impossible, Zektar raged. No species advances this quickly. It violates every law of technological development. Stone's voice came through the chaos. You spent so long believing your own superiority that you forgot the most important rule of survival. Evolution never stops. We just evolved faster than you expected. Within minutes, the Cathari punishment fleet was reduced to floating scrap. Those ships that could still move fled in terror, broadcasting emergency signals across the galaxy. The message was simple but world-shattering. Humanity was not what they seemed, but the real shock came next. Instead of pursuing the fleeing aliens, the human fleet simply vanished. Their stealth systems reactivated, making them invisible again. To alien sensors, the battlefield appeared empty except for Cathari wreckage. The psychological impact was devastating. The humans hadn't just won. They had demonstrated that they could strike anywhere, anytime, without warning. Every alien ship in the galaxy now flew through space, wondering if invisible. Human vessels were watching them. Emergency sessions convened on every major alien world. The species that had mocked humanity now faced a terrifying reality. The primitives had been hiding capabilities that surpassed their own. Vexon received the battle reports in his council chambers. His scaled hands trembled as he reviewed the tactical data. 50 of the galaxy's most advanced warships destroyed by a species they had classified as harmless. How many human ships do our intelligence estimates suggest they possess? He asked. His advisors thought the answer chilled him to his core. Unknown, sir. We have no idea what else they've been hiding. The galaxy's long peace was over. Humanity had awakened. The galaxy burned with panic. Within days of the Kethari fleet's destruction, every major alien civilization went into full military alert. Species that had dominated space for millennia now cowered behind defensive barriers, waiting for human ships that could appear from nowhere. The Morgan Collective recalled all their trade fleets. The Veltar hegemony activated ancient fortress worlds. Even the proud Zephyrian Empire, masters of psychic warfare, retreated to their core systems and prepared for siege. But the humans didn't come. For 3 months, space remained eerily quiet. No human ships attacked alien colonies. No mysterious sabotage crippled alien infrastructure. The silence was more terrifying than any assault. Vexuhan hadn't slept properly since receiving the battle reports. His council chambers had become a war room where terrified alien leaders debated their response to the human threat. The holographic displays showed defensive preparations across the galaxy, billions of soldiers, thousands of warships, technologies that could sterilize solar systems. We could glass their homeworld, suggested General Morthique of the Kethari. One focused: bombardment. Eliminate the threat before it spreads. With what? Vexon snarled. Ships they can apparently see coming from light years away? Weapons they've already proven they can counter? We don't even know where all their bases are located. The intelligence reports painted a nightmare scenario. Human cargo ships had been traveling galactic trade routes for years. Any of them could have been military vessels in disguise. Any asteroid mining operation could have been a hidden fortress. The humans had had decades to prepare positions throughout known space. The breakthrough came when Admiral Stone himself requested a meeting. The message arrived simultaneously at every major alien government, delivered through communication networks. The aliens thought we're secure. The implications were staggering. Humans had been inside alien systems all along. The meeting location was Nexus Station, the same place where humanity had been humiliated 3 years earlier. This time, the roles were reversed. Stone arrived alone aboard a small shuttle that somehow bypassed every security system on the station. He walked through corridors filled with heavily armed alien guards as if he owned the place. His confidence was more unnerving than any weapon. The council chamber was packed with representatives from every major species. They watched Stone with mixture of fear and desperate hope. Perhaps the humans could be reasoned with. Perhaps some accommodation could be reached. Stone stood in the same spot where he had once begged for acceptance. Now he commanded the attention of beings who had once mocked him. When he spoke, his voice carried the authority of absolute power. Honored representatives, he began. 3 years ago, you classified humanity as primitive. You were wrong. Not about our technology. At the time, you were superior. You were wrong about our potential. The chamber remained silent. Every alien leader knew their species' survival might depend on Stone's next words. You built a galaxy based on stagnation. Innovation was forbidden. Creativity was punished. Entire species were destroyed for daring to think differently. That ends now. Vexen found his voice. What do you want from us? Stone smiled, but there was no warmth in the expression. We want what you should have wanted all along, progress. The galaxy will embrace change, or the galaxy will be changed by force. He activated a holographic display showing star charts marked with human positions. The aliens gasped as they realized the scope of human infiltration. Human forces were already positioned throughout galactic civilization. Every species has a choice, Stone continued. Adapt to the new reality and be welcomed as equals. Cling to the old ways and be removed from positions of power. The transition can be peaceful or violent. That decision is yours. Admiral Park, now heading the Human Innovation Council, stepped forward. We're not conquerors. We're liberators. For too long, this galaxy has been held back by fear of change. We're offering every species the chance to reach their true potential. The terms were surprisingly generous. Species that embraced innovation would receive human technological assistance. Their scientists could work alongside human researchers. Their engineers could learn human manufacturing techniques. Their artists could explore new forms of expression. But the message was clear. The old order of galactic stagnation was dead. Over the following months, the transformation was remarkable. The Veltar, always skilled diplomats, quickly adapted to the new reality. They became enthusiastic supporters of technological advancement. The Zephyrian Empire, recognizing human mental flexibility, requested joint research projects in psychic enhancement. Even some Cathari clans, impressed by human military innovation, sought to learn new combat techniques that emphasized adaptation over brute force. Dr. West, now the first human director of galactic development, oversaw the transition. His speeches about embracing change became required reading in schools across 1,000 worlds. The final scene took place in a classroom on New Geneva Station, humanity's new diplomatic center. Human children sat alongside young Veltar Zephyrian hatchlings and reformed Cathari larvae. They worked together on projects that would have been impossible under the old regime. Art that combined multiple species' perspectives. Music that used frequencies beyond any single species' hearing. Technologies that merged different approaches to physics. Their teacher, a human named Professor Blake, Tom's daughter, watched with satisfaction as her mixed-species class collaborated on solutions to problems the old galaxy never would have attempted. The galaxy had feared human unpredictability. Now they celebrated it as the key to their collective future. Outside the classroom windows, ships from dozens of species worked together on projects that pushed the boundaries of science and art. The great stagnation was over. The age of collaborative innovation had begun. The final words appeared on the lesson screen, written in the languages of 50 different species. Progress is not something that happens to you. Progress is something you choose to create. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy. They had taught it how to conquer itself. Asterisk.